This is a quick tutorial on how to add windows to the medical bay for the Battle Systems terrain. If you haven't watched my previous video showing the whole set, go ahead and click here and you can see the rest of that. First thing you're going to do is buy this Avery 2-pocket divider set. The pockets are required because I used one without the pockets, and as you can see here, it's a little bit too opaque. So buy the ones with the pockets. This is the medical pod, and I think it looks good with a window as well. So I use the blue for that. Go ahead and pick whatever color you want. I'm going to be using blue again for my other pod, and then orange for the windows for the surgery center. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and, after punching them out, going to bend and curve the medical pod. And so just do that quickly for all of the pieces. And when you buy the medical set, you will get 2 of everything. I just mark it off, trying to find a pen that will actually mark it a little bit. Might be difficult as it's very hard to write on, but get a general sense of where you need to cut and cut that out. Start assembling the medical pod and stick the pieces together. Sometimes it's a little challenging to have the pieces stay in place, but after you put the bottom piece, go ahead and slide the plastic on there, and then put a piece of tape on top that will hold it in place. And then go ahead and assemble the top piece onto the plastic so that it's overlapping. And then finally, I just glue all of the joints with super glue. And there you have it. Next, we're going to go ahead and tackle the operating bay. And I found it difficult to actually bend, and so I take this ballpoint pen, I took the ink out of it, and I try to score the back, because see how thin the cardboard is here? It's a little bit more difficult to bend without cracking. And so I actually score the back of it with a ruler, just going back and forth a couple of times. And so I'll go along the opposite side where it isn't creased and score it so that it bends just a little bit easier. So go down the rest of the way and carefully, by using your fingernails as pressure points, bend these edges. And scoring it just makes it easier to do. And there you go. Go ahead and flatten it back out and lay it down. And then measure out your plastic. First, I see how tall it should be. And you want it to be as small as possible, because you're going to need space to put tape. Go ahead and cut it out. And then now measure the width of each one. And again, I have very little overlap along the edges. Because I want it to look good from the inside as well. You could just put a long piece along the back, but I want it to look like these are fitting in the windows, each one of the windows, so that it looks good from the inside. After cutting them out, go ahead and place them on. And take a piece of tape, and this is probably the most difficult part. You want to cut the pieces of tape so that they're very small. You don't want it to be very wide. And then I tape along the top. You can choose to do that along the sides if you want, but basically you're using clear tape so that even if it's sticking out above the frame, you won't be able to see it very well. And go ahead and do this for the rest of the window panels. And there you go. It looks good. Happy crafting and happy gaming.